Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm doing the transmission drop and fill on my 2016 2.7 6R80. I got rid of my two brand new trucks due to the 10-speed, so I want to keep this transmission in tip-top shape. And I got the filter here from Ford, and also I got the gasket. The gasket is reusable, and it does say it on the pan there. However, I'm just going to put in everything brand new, and I got some Mercon LV here. Should take around 5 quarts from what I'm seeing online, but obviously you want to do the process. Going to put in probably 4.5 to 5 quarts and just get the transmission up to temperature, measure it with my heat gun, and then do the dipstick. So without further ado, let's go ahead. I did spray the bottom of the pan just recently, as you can see with the water, with engine degreaser just to get it clean. There's just specks of dirt on it and stuff, so I don't want anything contaminating anything. So just an extra precaution. So mine's cleaned up and ready to go. All right, so I cracked the seal loose here, and I just put my pan immediately where it was leaking, and it's leaking at the driver corner there. So I'm just gonna let it drip until it doesn't drip anymore there. So I'm catching all the fluid as much as I can, because if I keep going around, obviously it's gonna open up Pandora's box here and probably get all over my floor. So the fluid actually doesn't look all that bad, which is nice. But it's just preventative maintenance, right? So I think Ford's interval for this for Canadian trucks is 240,000 K. I have a close buddy who's a Ford Master Tech, so I'm getting all this information from him. Yeah, the torque for those pan bolts on the transmission as well is 80 inch-pounds, so it's very light. Remember that it's inch-pounds and not foot-pounds. That would be very, very bad. And it's a crisscross pattern as well. And then you want to get the transmission up to operating temperature. I'll put the text in the video here. I think it's like 93 degrees, between 93 and 103, I believe. And then I'll obviously just check where you're at, and it should be like on the higher end of the B crosshatch. So yeah, I'm just gonna let this drain and continue loosening the bolts, and we should be good. There we go, that's a little bit better. I was just able to loosen it with my hand pressure with the extension and the 8mm socket there, and she's coming out nice now. All right, so the pan is off. We got the magnets here. They always have a little something on there as long as there's no huge chunks. Should be okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean this surface. Just let the transmission drip a little bit more. Get the new filter out, install it. Make sure the new O-ring is on this one, off of the transmission. And install this, and then install this. All right, magnets are all clean, pan is all clean. Before I put it in, I'll give it one more shot of air, and then I'll go put it in, but it came out pretty nice. All right, so just got the pan gasket out here, and the instructions do say the same. So 2013 and prior, tighten to 99 inch-pounds, 2014 and forward, tighten to 80 inch-pounds, and a crisscross pattern. So that's what I'm gonna do. Here's something on the filter I don't remember seeing, is this rubber grommet that slides over this. I assume we just have to plop it over it type of thing. Probably gonna put some transmission fluid over it just to ease the installation, no stress. And then also on the O-ring, go install this and clean up the transmission mating surface, and then throw this guy on. All right, so I put the new filter in there. The videos I watched, it sags a lot more. I don't know if it's because mine doesn't have, or mine does have that other nipple that supports it in there. I'm not sure if that's why, but mine is not sagging like the other ones I've seen, and mine's a 2016. So that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the pan on with the new gasket. All right, so I took most of what was out of the drain pan and put it in here. And I'm right to the top, and that's 4.5 liters. So it's pretty much 5 quarts, plus what's in there, plus what I spilt. So I'm looking probably around 5.5 quarts. So I'm minimum gonna put 5 full bottles in, and then measure from there, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and torque all those bolts though to 80 inch-pounds. I'm probably gonna do just like a round of 2 in a crisscross pattern. Probably I'll do 40 and then 80. So that's what I'm gonna go do right now. All right, so I didn't know how I was gonna get the fluid in the transmission. That was kind of dreading me just because I have limited space. And there's pumps out there, but the pumps I've used in the past are just horrendous. So I ended up buying one of these, Princess Auto, which is like an equivalent to Harbor Freight, I guess. But this thing works awesome. It works so good, and that hook stays in the transmission like perfectly fine. So you can just go hard on the pumping because it does take a while. So yeah, if you can find yourself something like that, that works great. All right. Before I get started, I just want to show you guys, make sure you get your 19 mil and crack the fill slash dipstick nut. Crack it loose, which is up right there, 19 mil. And just make sure you can get it off so you can obviously put fluid in when you need to put fluid in. All right, we're ready for startup here. That's my old filter. And I'm a fan of metal things, and the new filter, as you guys saw, was plastic at the bottom. So obviously a revision. I'm not an engineer. It must be better in some way, shape, or form, or cheaper. But I like seeing the metal one, so that's unfortunate. But I'm gonna start the truck now and put it in neutral and get the transmission to temp and check the level. All right, I'm gonna start the truck up here. I'm gonna shift it to the gears. And I'm gonna let it run and get the transmission up to temp. I think it's 96.7 to 102 degrees. Again, I will put that in the video if it's wrong. So you can hear the transmission pump as I go through all the gears. So it's doing what it should. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it in neutral, maybe go for a small drive, and like I said, get it up to the 96.7 to 102 degrees. And I'm going to point my little infrared temperature gun at the pan and measure the depth on the dipstick then, and it should be at the top of the B area on the dipstick, which is the top portion. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, went and picked up a staple here in Canada, some Tim Hortons. I know it's new for you guys in the States, not sure where it is exactly in the States, but I know there's one in Houston where I go for work. But the transmission just was not warming up, so it is now. So I'm gonna go home and measure the dipstick. All right guys, so after trying to get it up to temperature, I used the gauge on the dash too to measure it, and I used my heat gun. But all 6 liters went in, and I am right on the money. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm right at the top of the B. So the furthest to the right on the video. So all 6 liters went in. I initially put 5 in and I could hear a noise. So it was like a typical transmission low on oil noise. Put 0.5 more in, the noise went away. Then I went for another drive to get it up to temperature, and I was down. I was full A, but I wasn't touching B. So I put another half a liter in, which is all 6, and it is now showing where it should be. So awesome.